The next slide. So what are the conditions? What do we mean by these ergonomic conditions? They are actually disorders of the soft tissue. As you can see in this picture, we can see the target areas where people normally have problems. We have muscles, tendons, ligaments. When we have swelling, where we have pain in these areas, these are what we call ergonomic conditions, even in your joints and your blood vessels. So what are the possible causes for this? One thing that we all know as geologists, we know awkward positions, repetitive contact stress, vibrations, forces. These are things that can um, cause us to have ergonomic issues. And these are risk factors, like what you do normally, your physical characteristics, your habits, and your behavior. These are possible causes for this kind of conditions. So coming back to us, this is what we do. We handle data most of the time, and we're going to focus on this computer ergonomics, which is actually sitting with proper posture. So we need to take periodic breaks to stretch and walk, and this will promote our overall physical well-being. If you look at this picture, the head, it should be balanced, as in you should face the computer squarely. Your upper body, your shoulders should be relaxed. I know a lot of us slouch. We sit down in positions that at the end of the day, it affects us. I personally, my wrists hurt me, and I suppose that's the way from holding the mouse in a particular way. Today, we are all encouraged for proper safety to sit down well when we are doing our work. And this is like a checklist. I want to ask yourself, I would like you to ask yourself right now, am I seated correctly? This is how you sit. So this is how we should all sit when we face our work. With us balanced, your viewing distance, your legs seated, stretched out well, your back straight, and overall, this is how we should sit. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. I wish us a fruitful meeting. Bye.
Thank you much, Technical Logan. You are spot on. We sit a lot while looking at data, while interpreting data, while interacting with data, just to churn out some information that will be valuable for decision making. So it's good for us to be able to, at least be able to, sit properly so that we don't have health issues as a result of this particular phenomenon we're going through. Thanks so much. Economics, very important, and can never be overemphasized. It's something that we need to practice and sit well. If your chairs are not good, of course, you have to speak up. Thanks so much. So I like the coordinator for NAPE Warri chapter. He was opening remark, Mr. Wilson. Awesome.
Thank you very much, Ebenezer. Good morning, everyone on this call. Thank you for making our time to be a part of this particular event. It's one in the series that we've been doing since we began our activities for the year as a chapter, and we promise that we'll continue to bring topical issues to be able to expand and increase our knowledge in the world of geosciences. This morning, we are trying to make good our promise of ensuring that we have something like this. I really want to encourage you to sit back and relax and get the meat of this particular discussion. I know that at the end of this brief technical and business meeting that we'll be having, we would have added knowledge and expanded our views and horizon concerning the subject matter. Thank you once again for making our time to be a part of NAPE Warri chapter technical meeting. We will not take this for granted. We will continue to hold it to a very high esteem, and we believe that in our subsequent programs, you will also be a part of the audience. Thank you, and have a good listening pleasure to the end. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Awesome. So at this junction, I want to call the sponsor for today's technical and business meeting. The sponsor is Halliburton Energy Services, and the message from the sponsor will be taken by Dr. Anthony Ofom, NAPE.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ebenezer. Thank you. I want to first of all praise the Warri chapter.
Sorry, doctor, we can't see you.
You want to see me? Okay. Can you see me now?
Affirmative. Thank you, sir.
All right, fine. I want to first of all thank the Warri chapter coordinator and his executive for what they've been doing within that catchment area. Halliburton currently is, I'm representing the management because they are unavoidably absent, okay? So I'm standing in for our management. So I want to first of all say Warri chapter is doing great. There's no gain saying that. They've been reaching out to the companies that they need to reach out to get sponsors. We in Halliburton, we are happy to be part of whatever achievement goes with Warri chapter as well as other chapters. It's only Warri chapter that has been beckoning on us. We have other chapters that, you know, we also look into. So we want to first of all thank Warri chapter, and then again thank those who found time to join us in this presentation. It's not been easy, but tough times, tough market and all that. But we'll try as much as possible to do the little we can. So thank you for joining to listen to this topic this morning. Trends in exploration and production, E&P data management. There's nothing like data management. Data management is very key in what we do in the industry. We can't overemphasize that. We don't need to take data management lightly. Therefore, we have one of our subject matter persons today, Cornel and Animba, to take that topic. And we're sure it's going to be very topical and it's going to be enjoyable by all. I want us to sit back, relax, and enjoy the presentation. And thank you again, once again, for joining this technical meeting for today. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Dr. Anthony Ofoma. You're also a data enthusiast. I can see that in the message. Thanks so much. So at this point, we'll call on the chairman for today's technical presentation. The chairman is Dr. Emmanuel Kededelichukwu Madwawe, who is the GM Business Development Reservoir Resources Nigeria Limited. Dr. Madwawe is a geoscientist with 20 years plus experience in oil and gas industry in various technical, business, and leadership roles, with broadening in portfolio management, strategy, and business planning. Having worked in Africa, Europe, and North America, Dr. Madwawe, an avid team player, enjoys putting smiles on people's faces. With a PhD and MSc in applied geophysics, as well as an MBA in leadership and sustainability, Dr. Madwawe continues to exceed targets while being a conduit for knowledge and skill transfer between the experienced aging workforce and the young talents. He has demonstrated this in his capacity as a NAPE UAB chairman, where he has innovatively sustained the bridge between industry experts and academia. Ladies and gentlemen, I call on Dr. Madwawe to chair this occasion. Mr. Chairman, sir.
Thank you very much, Ebenezer, and congratulations once more to the able Warri chapter of our dear beloved association, NAPE. Ebenezer, confirm you can hear me, please.
Loud and clear, but I cannot see you. I can hear you. It's very clear.
What really happened is that I logged on with 2 devices because I've been battling with network from the location where I am. So you may be hearing my voice from one and see my face from the other one. I logged on with laptop and my iPad.
Okay. That's okay, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much, distinguished participants, and congratulations, Warri chapter, ably coordinated by WIS. It's a pleasure to be the chairman of today's event and to coordinate our timing. Trends in E&P data management. I hold data very much close to my heart. And congratulations again to Warri chapter for picking up a data specialist and a renowned data lover in the name of Mr. Cornel Animba to do justice to this very interesting topic. I will not bore us with any much statements. I would rather tell us, sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride as I bring on board Mr. Cornel Animba. Thank you very much. Mr. Cornel Animba is a data management resource with over 20 years. 20 years is minimal for him, but with over 20 years exposure in oil and gas industry. And is currently the service team lead, Landmark-Halliburton, Nigeria. Cornel holds a Bachelor of Engineering in Electrical Electronics and a master's degree, MBA. He's a data science enthusiast, and I mean it. And he has introduced many to data science and machine learning spheres. Let me here say that he has also introduced and has handheld a lot of NAPE members on the data science and machine learning. As a certified Unix administrator, he has contributed to solving many data management challenges for organizations, including the IOCs, NOCs, international oil and gas servicing companies, independent and minor field companies, and many others. Cornel have really walked around preaching the good news of how data should be treated, how data should be managed. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I present to us Mr. Cornel Animba to take us on this ride. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Ebenezer,
Cornel,
back
you
to
can
you.
share. Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Thanks for the introduction. So, Cornel, you can start presenting. Just share your screen.
Okay, thank you very much. I hope you can hear me. Please confirm you can hear me. Okay, good.
Loud and clear, Cornel. Please go on. Thank you.
Okay. It is my pleasure to thank you, the whole of NAPE Nigeria, especially the President, Dr. James Edet, FNAPE, for this opportunity. I also would like to appreciate Mr. Elliot Ibe, President-elect, FNAPE as well, for the opportunity, and the national executives, also not omitting my own very person, Dr. Tony Ofoma, FNAPE, who is the current VP. I would like to appreciate all of you. And I would also like to thank all the fellows that are listening to this presentation, and our industry colleagues and the people from academia. I would like to thank all of you. And all NAPE members here present and those who will join later. I am grateful for the opportunity to be the presenter on this particular topic. I also like to appreciate especially the NAPE, the Warri ESCO, led by Mr. Wilson Awesome, FIMC. I am very grateful for deciding to use me today to work on this topic, to present this particular topic. Thank you very much. Dr. Madawe is well known to me, and I'm glad he is the chairman of this particular session. Doc, thank you for that introduction and for the kind things you said about me. I appreciate. Thank you very much. I think you are a worthy chairman for this particular session. Okay, so today I'll be talking about trends in E&P data management. And like you said, data is the new oil in the oil and gas. Okay, so because of that,
Cornel, are you presenting? Cornel, are you presenting?
I am presenting. I hope you can see my slides. Let me do that again.
Are you in the first one or the second slide?
Let me see whether you can see my slides. Let me know if you can see my screen at all.
Yes. Yes. So presentation.
Okay. And now,
yes, we can see your slide.
Okay, that's great. Okay.
That's your first one. First slide.
Yes, this is the first one. And here we have the contents. These are the things we are going to discuss. Because I do not like to assume that everybody understands from the middle. No, I would like to just go to the basics, discuss data, and then look at what a data manager could be doing in the companies. Then we are going to take a look at what it used to be, what's present, and what's coming up, and trending. Then we also show you, because Halliburton is the sponsor for today, we'll show you how we are doing it in Halliburton, and we'll have some time for question and answers. Okay. Now, we will not delay ourselves so much on this, but I do believe that sometimes little information like this could add to knowledge for some of us. We know that data is divided into different, data is something that has size, okay? No, later on, you will find out also that data has its own attributes. For instance, it has size, it has speed, it can move, it has forms, it has types and other things. But this particular slide talks about the sizes of data that you work with every day, okay? And then it has the smaller unit of the bit, and we go from that to the byte, which is what most of us work with on a daily basis. Every character you type on the keyboard is a byte. So most times we begin with the byte of 8 bits, and then it goes down to different sizes as you multiply them by 1024, and going down to zettabytes and yottabytes. Okay, so in this particular age, we know we use data a lot, and that's why we should pay attention to data. Okay, so but somebody may ask us, just passing by, even it could be your child, it could be a little girl on the streets, and say, what is data? And then we should be able to answer correctly by saying that it is a fact, that it is a fact or data from which information could be derived. And I like this definition because data makes no meaning on its own unless you can derive information from it. Okay. And then in the next slide, I will give you a few examples about data. This data could be anything. Could be anything. For instance, let's look at this. UT 1, 2, 3, 4, Joseco. These are all data here, but they won't make meaning until you're able to put them together in such a way that it transmits information. So the relationship between data and information is that you get your information from your data. So there's what we call the wisdom triangle here. Many of us may have come across it, but this is how the whole thing grows. You have data, then that data enables you to have information if you arrange it well. And that is where the data manager fits in, because it translates your data into some form of information. Then what do you do with information? It gives you knowledge. And what do you do with knowledge? You get wisdom. Well, in the E&P industry, we call that the value. You gain value, you gain the ability to take the right decision at the right time. As they find, wisdom is the correct and timely application of knowledge. So that's what we get. So you're able to do that and you do it timely. What does it give you for that? It gives you edge, competitive edge over other competitors. Okay. So I'm hoping you can still see my screen. Now,
Yes, I can still see your screen.
Okay, good. Data management on its own, it involves all the kind of activities you carry out on the data in order to create value for your company. Okay, in order to get value from that data. And those activities could be categorized into different areas. Okay, it could even involve planning and designing what could be the form of data you receive. It could involve maintaining the data, things like cleaning up the data, loading the data, transforming it to other formats in order to be able to make use of it. You should be able to find it when you need it. You should be able to transfer it, and describe it with some metadata. You should be able to monitor it, analyze it, try to get insight from it. You should be able to capture the results you get from it and do it well. So all these kind of activities you do on the data boils down to data management. Okay, and then this association called DAMA is the International Association for Data Management. And what they have done, I like their definition here. They define this as the development and execution, supervision of plans, policies, and programs that control, protect, store, or deliver subsurface information in all its physical and digital forms and formats. In other words, DAMA is one opportunity, one group I will also discuss here, because they give us the guide on how to manage our data as an international organization. And maybe most people are not members of DAMA yet. I will ask that maybe when you have time, look up the DAMA website and see what you can do for your organization in terms of data management if you are an enthusiast of that. Okay. Okay. So one question here is, why should we pay attention to data management? Okay. Just look at the figure there, $145 billion. That's the worth of data in the next few years, just say 2032. WorldOil.com says that the whole data in the oil and gas industry could be worth $145 billion. So you cannot afford to ignore that kind of money flowing around in an ERP industry. Okay. If you manage data well, you will not spend so much time looking for it. Okay. Sometimes some users spend more than 50% of their time just trying to check the data. Is it this one? Is it another one? Okay, let's use this. And I tell you, if you use the wrong data, it is already a wrong start. Okay. Now, as you drill or as you carry out your operations, you may discover new things happening, and you may want to quickly check it out. With a bad set of data, you cannot do that. Another thing we are faced with these days, what we call big data. Okay, I did discuss big data with some folks some time ago, last year or early this year. No, but when your data grows to a certain point where you can no longer just have it in have control of it in your regular PC or laptop, you have started dealing with big data. You have to use corporate storage. You have to have maybe multi-size sessions of disks. You have to have multiple disks to contain it. You're already dealing with big data, and big data is already here with us. These we describe here are the characteristics of big data. It has complexity. You can get value from it. It has veracity. It has variety. It has velocity, which is speed. It can move. Then it has volume. Here we are talking about the volume especially, and because it has grown to that level, we need to manage the data properly. Okay. Now, a lot of users out there, the operators in the oil and gas industry, are also interested in collaboration between their teams. Time has gone when people will have to wait for somebody to come from the field to the office for them to make some updates, or somebody goes from the office to the field. You send it, you copy it, you send it by mail, somebody downloads it and then reads it. In all those kind of processes, you can introduce errors, which could be very costly. So what we do here is we need seamless collaboration between teams in terms of data exchange, and they should not begin to export, import, and do stuff like that when we have technologies that will help them avoid that. Okay. I'm sorry because I'm paying much attention to data management here, why you should pay attention to it. Because if you manage your data poorly, like this sentence says, you pay for it dearly, okay? So when you have poor practices and policies about data, what happens? It will introduce slow cycle times into your system. You will have regulatory breaches. You will have other violations, poor data quality, unnecessary work, and probably reacquisition, which is a lot of money. Okay. And what are the consequences? You could face sanctions. You could face reputational damages. You can even miss opportunities. Legal actions could follow, which is also very expensive. MPT, and high operating costs. And let me just talk about missing opportunities. I hope you know that there's one company that entered Angola fronts before, looked around and found nothing, or rather, it is assumed they found nothing worth it, packed their load and left. Some other companies went there, looked more diligently, and found what they're looking for. And today they're still in Angola doing business, making a lot of money. But that other company left because in their own interpretation, they found nothing worth it. Okay, so it is important that we take data management very seriously. As the rule goes, there's a rule we call 1-10-100, which says if you can do the right thing, you could just be paying 1%. Maybe you just pay the regular staff to do the right thing. You have introduced the correct policies. You have the correct systems put in place to do the right thing. You have done things like data governance, like I'm going to mention later. It could just take you 1% to do that right thing. It could just take you 1%. But if you wait and begin to make it like a correction, well, you may be spending 10% of your money because you have skipped the first option of preventive maintenance, so you can do corrective maintenance. And then if you don't do that, it could cost you a lot, much more in terms of 100. So that's what we call the 1-10-100 rule in data management. And I tell you, it applies in other areas of life. Okay. Now, what are the things you expect from a data manager? Okay, that's what we discuss here. And what you are seeing here are the things we expect that a data manager should do. Okay, he will manage the data life cycle. He will create and manage the reference data. He will be interacting with information services, job requests, interacting with the users. He will be involved in data governance, even though it may be indirectly, but there should be some data governance system in the organization, and the data manager should play an important role in getting that established. What of data quality and data QA, QC, and stuff like that? The data manager should be part of it. Okay, in the days past, most organizations do not have to need a data manager because anybody could just pick it, do it, and then go. There was no attention paid to quality. There was no attention paid to policies and standards like that. But these days, it is a trend that organizations must manage their data in a certain way, using certain predefined standards in order to get the most out of their data. Otherwise, they could wake up one day and notice that they have actually done nothing. I have seen people who did not manage their data well, and just one crash, one drive crashed, and the whole business could not work for a week. Okay, so what does that tell you? So we need to get ourselves involved with a lot of things about data, including disaster recovery management, testing the backups, making sure everything is working well. It could be very, very important, and one day that could be the seven lifeline of the company if it is done well. Okay. Again, I would like to refer us, because we have a limited time, we will not be able to go through all of this. There are times when we have time to do this as some training sessions. We can discuss all of that, but now I will simply refer you to DAMA website, www.dama.org, so that we'll be able to go through. So just you'll be able to find a lot of information you need concerning data management. Okay, so because of time, I will just go through the other slides very quickly. Okay, how many of us remember when we had floppy disks and diskettes? So what do we have now? We have micro SD cards that can do up to 1.5 or 2 terabytes in these little chips. Before, in 1956, it looks like this, only 5 MB for all that hardware. But now we have up to 4 terabytes squeezed into 2.5-inch drives. Okay, it is also like this in terms of hard disk capacities. In the olden days, you need a lot of drives, a lot of hardware to just hold 2 MB. But now we cannot even imagine how much squeeze we have given it, hosting up to 125 petabytes in a rack. That's a lot. That's the kind of data we are generating in our age, and that is what it has come to be. Okay. Now, we will just discuss a few of these things, what is trending now, and I believe that in the next, we will just add value to it. Why do we discuss this? Because the papers, the contrast will come to some of us and some of you, and then they will tell you that this is big data. Then we should know what is big data, data analytics, artificial intelligence and machine learning, edge computing. What is it? Blockchain technology in data management. What do you understand by that? Real-time data, which is going on in a lot of places. Now we are not only just doing real-time, we have what we call the digital twins, powered by Internet of Things. We have cloud computing management, and inter-cloud. Some people may subscribe with Azure, and then you can also have another subscription with AWS. And you need to manage the data, whatever you have in both clouds. If you can do that, you're already doing cloud management. We also have robotic and automation technologies. New standards and regulations are coming out, like what you are getting from OSDU. Open standards are there. And then you also have cyber security and multi-factor authentication that are being introduced, in our own era of E&P data management. Okay, so I would like you to take note of this. Try to also find out if you're an enthusiast, what they stand for, what they mean. And then you can also come back to us with questions on them, about them, and how they are being applied in the E&P industry. At the later part of this slides, I will show you how we are also applying them in Halliburton. Okay. Now, you also hear about edge computing. Okay, in edge computing, we are talking about running applications at the edge of the network. What it simply means is you have intelligent devices, along the network path, and they're able to do mini processing on their own, not allowing the central device to do all the processing. And the advantage you get from that is you have reduction in latency, and you achieve a kind of high performance for your data and for your workflows. Okay, and then you also have things like blockchain industry. Many of us talk about Bitcoin and all that. And then we can now introduce it to the oil and gas industry. Some people have started introducing it there. So you can hear that some processes are using blockchain technology, to deal with contracts. It actually applies more to acquisition, procurement, selling of the oil itself to other countries and stuff like that. And smart contracts. These are the kind of benefits you get from blockchain technology. So I would like you to look it up and begin to get familiar with these terms, because it has come to stay, and we are going to see more and more of it in the E&P industry. Okay, we also discover things that are trending, like digital twins. Okay, not only real-time operations, but digital twins, where you digitize the entire platform, the entire oil rig or whatever, and then get an image of it in 3D in real time back in the office. So you'll be able to see what is going on in the rig and the platform, whatever is going on there, you'll be able to monitor it there from the office or from the remote site, and you'll be able to predict what will happen next and avoid costly mistakes along the line. We also have what we call cloud computing, cloud data management, and our own brand of cloud in Halliburton is called the iEnergy. But you also have public service providers coming from Azure, Amazon, and a lot of others. And time has come for data managers to begin to deal with these cloud providers, because we all here, we saw what COVID-19 did to the economy, but those who prepared for it were unscarred. So what we need to do is to get familiar with cloud data management as data managers in the E&P industry, so that we can move our data in and out of the cloud when the need arises. We also what we call the data fabric, which is a cloud-based architecture. I mean, if you have like 2 sources of cloud providers, with data fabric, you can have a kind of federation over that kind of data, and you see it as a federated entity, removing the issue of maybe bringing it out from one cloud provider, supplying it to the other one, or loading it up to the other one. And so these are all trending technologies in the E&P industry. Unfortunately, each of them will take us a long time to discuss, but the aim of this presentation is to bring you to that awareness level about what is happening and how they are happening, and then what you can do with the current trends as it is. Okay. In the graph here, you will see that we had number 1, loss of data. We also have number 2, data in silos. Okay, but then we're able to now begin to build key performance indicators based dashboards. And then we're able to do predictive analysis on our workflows, on our systems. And then we are also able to do prescriptive analysis. So you do not only predict, but you prescribe what will happen. And you can now have a holistic view on your big data analytics, because now you have grown to the era where you can deal with big data. And with the data you have, you can prevent a lot of things from happening in the future. Okay, so what I did here is to show you some of the things we have done with the data in Halliburton as it trends. We have, for instance, in exploration, we have been able to apply neural networks for formation property prediction, and we can also use do automatic lithology interpretation and automated well surface peak correlation. What we do when any of this comes to us as a request is to look at your data, train your data, and then bring out a model which we work with you to agree that this is the correct thing to do, this is the correct result. Most times we use 70 to 80% of your data for training, and maybe just 20% for testing. And once the test most is okay, you can have the output, and the gain you get from it is a lot of things gets automated, as you see here, and you cut down on the time you spend on your workflows, and eventually you are going to have a better revenue and a lot of MPTs off. Okay, so these are the kind of things we can do for exploration with the trending technologies in data management. We're able to achieve this phase classification, fuzzy classification, and a lot more. No, in drilling, I cannot go through all this, but let me just mention casing wear prediction in real time. You can also have drill bit wear analytics, early kick detection, and all of this. These are all different services you can get from Halliburton's modern data management techniques. And I want to tell you, we work with you to get this achieved if you want it in your environment. In production, we have a lot of that here on the right. Okay. Okay, so I would like to say thank you very much. Not forgetting to mention that we are OSDU compliant. OSDU is the Open Subsurface Data Universe. We have created a lot of applications that can plug into OSDU, ingest data from it, and our solutions are also able to have a bidirectional data transfer in and out of Open Subsurface Data Universe. Okay, we try to do all this with modern data management workflows, and this is why we think you should know about it as well. And where you need to perform this in your organizations or know more about it, you know where to look to. Okay, so I would like to say thank you very much for listening, and do let me know your questions as we go along. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, are you there?
Yes, please, I'm here. Thank you very much, my brother and my good friend, Cornel Animba. You've really done noble to compress a 2 years or more than 2 years knowledge into 30 minutes presentations. Trends, data trends in E&P data management. You've started by telling us, Ebenezer, confirm you can hear me.
Yes,
Loud
I can
and
also
clear.
hear you.
Loud and clear, sir. Loud and clear. We can hear you loud
Very
and clear.
well. Very well. Cornel defined and informed us that data gives information, information gives knowledge, and knowledge creates wisdom. So from data, we ascend the throne to becoming wise. Then what is data management? I like that apt definition. Process of ingesting, storing, organizing, and maintaining data being created. Different capacities of data. So Cornel took us from what is data to what is data management to why must there be data management. Then he nose dived into trends in data management in E&P, where he mentioned cybersecurity, edge computing, the IoTs of this world, robotic and automation technologies, cloud data management, comparing the present with the past to let us know that that's, as geoscientists, the law of uniformitarianism, that the past is the key to the present and present is the key to the past. He compared 1956 data storage with 2022 data storage. Cornel made us to understand that why companies must spend money, and I said must, capital letter bolded, must spend money in data management is that if you say that safety is expensive, my brother, my sister, try an accident. By the time a regulator will call for a data of 1900 when your company started, then you will realize the importance of proper data management. Why must you pay attention to data management? It could lead your company to regulatory sanctions. It could lead your company to legal actions. You may even deny your company of your rights. Then the new PIA law, call it PPL, Petroleum Prospecting Licenses. Whether you call it OML or OPL or PPL, without accurate data management, you are exposing your company to a bigger, horrible event. And let's think about this. Why will a company spend $500 million, $1 billion? Why will a company spend 100,000 naira to acquire data, information, call it seismic, call it water saturation, call it anything, and they cannot manage it very well? Cornel made us to understand that posterity may not judge us right if we start losing the valuable data in our companies. By the time our grandchildren will come to take over, it becomes challenging. Remember the old principles of geology. The past is the key to the present, and the present is the key to the past. Distinguished NAPE members, I want to say a very big thank you to Cornel for making us proud this afternoon, this morning afternoon, by compressing into our brain a lot of things that will help us to manage our data. Our oil production, for those in producing companies, how are the data being managed? You may call it the decline curve analysis. Even if you're a seismic data interpreter or a modeler, the product you churn out to hand the baton over to the next person, are you managing it well? Are you still storing it in the 1952-56 data storage facility, or are you moving with the trend, the cloud computing? I like where he say it helps to reduce latency. That's an interesting one. The good news is all the help we need are within us. Cornel explained and showcased to us that Halliburton has what it takes. So the problem is not that the softwares are not here, or that the knowledges are not here, or that people that can handle it are not here. I think the problem may be that you as a company or you as the manager in that company will decide not to advise your company very well. Thank you very much, Cornel. Thank you, Warri Chapter, for exposing us to these interesting opportunities. Again,
I think we've lost you.
Yeah, Dr. Madawa, are you still hear me? I think he was about
management
okay.
very well. Thank you very much. Ebenezer, I'll hand over to you to pilot over Q&A section. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much, Doctor. I just that we lost you at the time you were just trying to conclude on your thoughts. We couldn't hear you well. Well, thanks for the wrap up. Thanks for the summary that you presented to us on what Mr. Animba taught us this afternoon. Okay, we already have a couple of people signifying that they want to ask questions. If you don't want to unmute and speak, you can chat, send your question to the chat box. But I've been saying Namso Apan. He has been raising his hand. Mr. Apan, can you go ahead and ask your question, please?
Yes, good afternoon. I want to really say that I'm so impressed, and I thank God that I took this opportunity to join Warri Chapter in this particular presentation. I must say thank you, Cornel, and I want to thank Warri Chapter for organizing this particular topic. It's very profound, and I know that for small companies, this is still a challenge. But for bigger companies, I think they understand the importance of data. And so, but my question is because Cornel actually, when he was talking about the cloud computing, the cloud storage, and I know that for a couple of years back, this was really an issue, considering the fact that when you are talking about the E&P data, confidentiality is always of importance. And so a lot of people were actually thinking that this is not secured. And when you are dealing with confidentiality of data. So for my question on this is, Cornel, what is your take in terms of security and confidentiality in terms of the cloud storage, which you said is a trending at the moment?
Mr. Ekman, thank you very much for that question. And very well put, very well asked, because you have a reason for asking that, and those reasons are valid. Okay, but what we do is, and what I advise those who want to go cloud to do, is to make sure they go with reliable service providers. Reliable because it is not everybody that you see who says, I offer this service, I offer data storage as a service, then you go and drop your data on that person's platform. Just do your background check and be sure, first of all, that there has been no breach. And I can tell you in-house that AWS, Microsoft, you will have to sign a confidentiality agreement with them, Halliburton as well, and other service providers. Whoever you want to use, there should be a confidentiality agreement. That's number one. Number two thing you do is to make sure that the person is certified in terms of data security. What we do in Halliburton, that we make sure that we have our own security certifications, which we call the SOC 2 certification. So we have it here, and a lot of other providers make sure they have that certification. The third thing you can do is to have your own private cloud. If you can afford it, you can scale it up. You can start small and scale it up. And I am thinking that in the next few years, the price will be going down because of the cost of the hardware will be crashing. So more and more independence and private organizations will be having their own private cloud appliances. In Halliburton, we call it the Landmark Appliance, LEA for short. And that's what we have proposed to a few people. We have at least 2 in Nigeria here, and more people are indicating interest to buy. We also have multi-tenant option where you can go rent the hardware infrastructure as a service from a reputable organization and then put your data there. So those are the solutions I will think is okay. There could be others, but those 2 or 3 solutions I just mentioned are good enough if you follow them in terms of security concerns.
Yeah, thank
you. Thank you so much.
Mr. Akma, you want to give a follow-up response? Is that
That's
okay?
fine. Yes,
Okay, thanks so much. Thanks so much, sir. So, Mr. Otsahan Ogbebo, can we hear your question, please? Okay, your video is on, but you are not seated right there. So let's go to Mrs. Ologun. Mrs. Temitayo Ologun, go ahead with your question.
Thank you, Cornel, for the lovely presentation. My question is this. Bringing this back home, with respect to big data and the characteristics of the veracity, okay? How do you ensure data integrity? You know, we have a lot of data, and how do you now ensure, you know, the accuracy of any of these data that we get in the oil and gas industry?
Okay, I think that's a very good question. And if I may come in on that, there are a lot of tools you can use to ensure data integrity. We call it QA/QC tools generally. And what you do at the back end, and that, by the way, is whoever you appoint as your data manager, that will be his role, to ensure that the data you receive or the data you are consuming are from reliable sources, that you have done the QA/QC on them. So what you do is you deploy those conditions, you try to run them. It will run some queries. And if, for instance, it doesn't see certain parameters, it will flag red. And then on the fly, you'll be able to see that something is wrong with this kind of data. I will give you an instance if there is time. A few years ago, we had a case in SPDC where they had over 5,000 well records. And we noticed that some of the wells were copied up to 4 or 5 times in the same database. Some of them have no logs, no peaks, no parameters at all. Others have just total depth. Others have directional surveys and stuff like that. So what we did was to use one of our tools called Web OpenWorks. That is WOW for short, we call it. And then we queried the data, flagged the ones that do not meet certain criteria. And we started matching different well attributes from different wells into one accepted well. At the end of the day, they had correct wells. And I tell you, it wasn't more than 500 wells at the end of the day. No, boiled down from 5,000 well records, which was shown in their database. So it's an activity at that particular point. If you remember this slide, at that particular point, you're already on the 10. Okay, let me see what it comes up here. At that particular point, you're already on the 10. Okay, so you're in the corrective area, which is still not too bad, but something you can do, and it will save a bad day in future. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Cornel. Mr. Arufin, please, your question. Sorry for keeping you waiting.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Cornel, for that wonderful presentation. It really gladdened my heart. I have just one question. Okay. And the question goes thus. What is or are the challenges militating against data sharing, piece-of-piece integrity, and confidentiality of data in data management in E&P?
Okay.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, that's my question.
Okay. If I get you right, you want to know the challenges militating against data sharing and
In relation to integrity and confidentiality of the data.
Sorry.
okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
I can hear you, Doc.
Yeah. When you said data sharing, is it between companies or what?
Between companies.
Oh, okay.
Between companies. Yeah.
Okay, Cornel, you can take that, or if you can't, let me go.
Okay, go ahead, Doc.
Yeah. Data sharing between companies is not as if it's a difficult thing to do, but that is not the exclusive preserve of the service companies to do. So it depends on how each company goes into agreement with the other company. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Okay, I thought somebody was saying something. So it is just something between the companies. Okay, I take example with the university stuff. That is the research folks, that when they want to do their project and all that, they have to write to DPR from DPR, that is NUPRC, then get approval. They will now go to the company and then ask for this data and all that. So it's the same thing. It's not a difficult thing. Data can be gotten from companies, but it has to be direct with that company, not through a third party or through a servicing company. So that is the issue with data sharing amongst companies. It's doable, but it has to be direct with that company, and they will reach an agreement on how they want to do it, but not the third party getting involved. So in other words, nothing is wrong with getting data from a company that has that data you need. I don't know whether that answers the question.
Yeah, it does. But what happened to the integrity of those data and the confidentiality of the data? In Nigeria, for instance, you hardly experience such a thing that Chevron exchanging data with Shell exchanging data with Mobile. That's where I'm going. With the research institute or university, that is not a challenge. But among the IOCs, that's why that's the
Okay.
focus of my question.
Yeah, which is between companies and company. But we can't sit here and say they've not been exchanging data because we don't know what happens internally within them. So we cannot really conclude. Probably they've been doing that, but between them, which we do not know. So it will be very difficult to answer that question for them. But I want to believe that if it comes to a straddle field, that there is a way to go into that agreement for them to now exchange data for a company that has worked, previously on a straddle field and all that. That's my take. That's my thinking. They have a way to work it out.
Okay,
Right,
thank you very much, Doc. That's a very nice response. Mr. Morofudin, this is a regulatory issue. I once was in a session where this question was asked, and a regulator was in that meeting. So the regulator said, just refer it to us, and that is why we are there. We would help you fix it. So that's what I remember he said that day. If you need data from any area, maybe within Nigeria, any field, just write them, and they will find out why you need the data, whether you ought to have access to that data. And when they have done their background checks, they will be able to approve it, and then even make the data come to you. They will make the other companies send you that data. That's what the guy replied, because luckily he was in one of the meetings where this question was asked. Okay, so that's the same thing I will answer you, just in addition to what Dr. Foma has said. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Animba. So we'll just have 2 more questions so that we can go ahead. And it's past, past 1 hour. So, Mrs. Kemi Taiwo, can you go ahead with your question?
Yeah, thank you. My question is a bit on the business side of data management. The position of a data officer or data manager could be very luxurious for a small company. So, and they may not really have the fund to probably subscribe to AWS and all those kind of organization and all that. So how can they still manage their data? For example, if a company says they're going to start with, let's say, let's say they say, okay, we only have 10 wells in this field, so we don't need to do anything or to have that position of somebody managing our data, but you don't know, the company could grow to have 50 wells and all that. So how do they still manage their data without having to, put all their resources in data management and all that? Is there a way? Can they have collaboration with the company that does that? Like, okay, cite the data or put the data somewhere, something like that. Like, how affordable would it be for them? Is it like, if you cannot have that position or have someone manage your data for you, who could do that? Which organization does that? And I mean, are there third-party situations or positions, for you to have that kind of thing? Because of course, like we said, a company could grow and then you keep having data, production history, water saturation, and all those kind of information. So how do they do it, and how affordable could it be? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Madam Kemi. That's a very intelligent question, and I'm sure you are asking this maybe for the sake of others who are also listening. And that's where we come in sometimes to argue with some people. No, like the topic said, trending stuff. Things trending may not necessarily be what you ought to do, may not be applied in your own case. This could be a unique case. Yes, we appreciate that cloud data management is trending, artificial intelligence and machine learning and all this beautiful stuff. Good, that is fine. Okay, but for marginal field operators, for instance, you just have maybe 2 or 3 feeds, and then you want to go machine learning. Well, no, I mean, you don't even have enough data to churn into those systems. So what you are doing, what you are saying is good, and the question is correct. You may not at that point begin to go cloud immediately unless you have a need for it. Now, what you can do is to outsource those kind of services to people like Halliburton, and then tell them, okay, I don't have a resource to manage this. Can you guys help us do this? They will sign some documents on confidentiality and other things with you, and they will help you do it. No, even if you say, okay, it may not be full time, it may be maybe just once or twice a week. I need you to come in, QC, QA this, and do stuff like that. They can help you set up the infrastructure to the full life cycle of that data can be managed by just outsourcing it to people like Halliburton or to third party of choice. Okay, and they will do it for you. So, and that is just one important note, that these things are trending does not mean you must use it, but rather the aim of this exposure is for you to get prepared, get acquainted with the terms, make some background findings and research, because eventually papers like that will come to you. So you understand what those third-party contractors are saying. You understand the terms, you understand the language, you'll be on the same page with them. And because we all go through this, we all learn. Nobody will cheat the other. Everybody understands each other's language, and that is one of the aims and benefits of this kind of session. Okay, so thank you, Madam Taiwo.
Yeah, sorry, I want to throw in something there in addition to what Cornel has just said. All right, he mentioned Halliburton. Yes, Halliburton. We've not started it in. We will soon start that probably before the end of the year or probably for Q2 next year. The cloud system thing for small companies like Kemi said, where we can manage your cloud issues, maybe small companies where they can come together and then we store their data in our cloud system. We'll soon bring in, I think, Cornel, is it AWS or something that will soon
Yes.
come in where we can manage company data, that is small companies, you know.
Yes.
So maybe about 10, 15 companies can subscribe with us, and then we handle that for them, because we have two types. We have the private cloud and then the public cloud. So for the public cloud, yeah, the big time companies, the big IOCs of this world make use of the hair. But for in country, we want to have a cloud system that can take data for the small companies. That is coming in, like I said, either before the end of the year or probably Q2 next year. So, I mean, you can reach out to me and then we can get you involved with that, so that as soon as it comes in, the marginal oil companies, the small companies, and the independents can lash on to that opportunity or leverage to that opportunity, and then try to have their data stored on the cloud. I hope I can be heard.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I
Yeah,
heard
yeah,
you.
we heard it.
Thank you so much.
Again,
Thank you, Doc.
I hope that's what you wanted to hear, Kemi.
Yes, yes. That
Again,
makes sense.
in addition, just to to go a bit further, for the small companies, Halliburton has that. Now we have that. It's working already. It's not that we're trying to introduce that. That is already in existence. For small companies like the marginal oil field guys, the small companies and all that cannot afford to acquire the applications they need for their interpretation, can do what we call the subscription type, pay as you go, where you probably maybe you have a job, you want to do it for 1 month or probably 2 months, and you can't start buying the software completely. What you do is to subscribe to our cloud, where we have all the applications. You now pick up your licenses from there, work for 1 month, and then that's it. You just pay as you go. That's what it is. That we have started. But for that data management stuff on the cloud, that will come on stream probably before Q2 next year.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, Doc. Thank you, Doc. And I think it's really cheap. It's really cheap with us, I can say.
Yeah.
So thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks for bringing in the business aspect of this presentation, Madam Kemi. Dr. Madra, you want to say something? I just have 2 questions to read from the chat. Or you want to add
yes,
something?
because I'm also very time conscious, so that we'll manage timings.
That's correct. That's correct.
I'm looking at the. Okay, so you do justice to the 2 and we'll wrap it up.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
So, Cornel, Uzoma is appreciating you for the presentation. He's an undergraduate from Kuto. He's studying geophysics, and his question is, he said, is there a distinguishing line between data management and data analytics? Maybe just in one of. He has another question. He said, where does a young professional with skills in data analytics function? That's quickly.
Okay, great. Thanks. What's the name again?
Uzoma is his name.
Uzoma, thank you. Okay, Uzoma, thank you for that question. And yes, data management and data analytics are related, but data analytics is a subset of data management. Okay, so inside data management, you do a lot of things, but you can narrow it down, like you see what we have here. In bigger organizations, you could have different people working just on each of those functional groups. So somebody could be a data architect, another person could just be managing your metadata, another person could be involved in security and all that. So in other organizations, one person can do that. But data analytics needs more skills because you need to have a good knowledge of Python, machine learning, and the application on data. You also need to have a good knowledge of the data you are working on, so you'll be able to know when you are right or when you are not correct. So data analytics is a sub-function of data management, but you need to have more knowledge to be able to do that. You need to go into machine learning, you need to go into artificial intelligence and all that to be able to do that. Okay. Then what's the second question?
Okay, you say as a young professional with skills in data analytics, where can he function?
Okay, there's a lot of places where you can function with reference to E&P industry. For instance, you can work there. You can work in the E&P industry because you'll be able to say, okay, this is your data trends. This is where it's going, and I can tell you, you will have the years of the management because you'll find yourself displaying and presenting to them often based on the data you have collected. You analyze it, you show them what is going on. It could be predictive, it could be analytic, it could be any of the other. You'll be able to show them what's coming, what can be prevented. And you can work in the E&P industry. You can also work in a lot of other industries out there. But I'm sure that with data analytics, you'll be a hot cake anywhere you go to. So I think that's what I have to answer to that.
Yeah, thanks, Cornel. So Uzo, you can also reach out to Dr. Emmanuel Madwa, where he's a data manager. He's a geoscientist. So if you want more mentoring, he's the NAPE person. So he interacts with the student very well. So Uzo, please try and reach out to Dr. Madwa, the chairman for today's technical paper. Then there's another one also from an undergraduate. He wants to know, let me reset, please, what program does Halliburton have in place as part of their social responsibility to train young graduates and students as part data management and analysis, especially with regards to the current trend towards cloud solution and big data? Cornel, maybe Dr. Ofoma should take this.
Yes, direct that to Dr. Ofoma.
I know you push it to me. What we are doing here is social responsibility already. We've sponsored almost all the technical sessions in the what's it called in the chapters. Almost all the chapters, with the exception of Oka Warri and the UK chapter. All other chapters were sponsored by Halliburton, and we also provided the resource persons to teach and lecture on this. So when you say social responsibility, I don't know what else you're looking at. Perhaps maybe you're looking at IT. We do take IT, but not, I mean, if we have to take all the ITs, and that means it's going to be, so, I mean, we have limits to how many ITs that can be taken in a swap and all that. Then in terms of, one-on-one with some of the people that work here in terms of knowledge transfer and all that, I'm sure if you reach out to any of our personnel, they are ready to, carry you through and all that. So I don't know if there are more things to that than what I've answered.
Yeah, doctor, that's okay. We can leave it at that.
And then, and again, we sponsor a lot of technical program during the conference and all that. So avail yourself of that opportunity during the next conference, the upcoming conference. We should be taking something on the short courses, and then also during some of those sessions, management and panel discussion and all that. So I think that's the benefit you stand to gain. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So, Mr. Chairman, we want to go to the next item. I don't know if you have a closing remark on the presentation.
Thank you very much, Ebenezer, and special appreciation to Cornel.
Wow, we're having the next one. Cornel, confirm you can hear me.
I can hear you, yes.
Okay.
Cornel, you've really done a non-agreement.
Okay. It's back.
Can I be heard? Can I be heard?
We didn't hear you for a while, but we can hear you now.
So I'm saying that before companies disclose their information, they used to have what they call NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, And then let's not forget about unitizations between company A and company B. And these are what Cornel elucidated us on when he said data governance, policies, procedures, and all those attributes that the data manager must always give. Thank you very much once again, Cornel, and we can't appreciate you enough. You can see the passion from our students asking questions, many of them towing your line. Thank you for being there for us and holding the candle for us to see. Ebenezer, I think we can now go to our beloved president, Dr. James Edet, FNAPE, for presentations.
Unfortunately, it's not on the call, but the president-elect will step in.
I see president-elect here with us.
Okay, yeah. Go
I
ahead.
see president-elect. So my PE, FNAPE, Elliot Ibie, FNAPE, do you want to help us on this? Thank you very much.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thanks for this session today. I think constitutionally, our indefatigable Vice President, Dr. Former, should do the honors of presenting this plaque in the absence of the President.
Thank you very much, PE. I know you know the Constitution very well, so I'm not scared. I'm not scared one bit. I know you know the Constitution. So, but all the same, I'm going to wear two shirts today, one for Halliburton and the other for NAPE. So, thank you very much, PE, once again for conceding to me to do this presentation. On behalf of the president of NAPE, who is unavoidably absent. I think he's very busy because I saw him yesterday at the Lagos. I'm okay, it's not in Lagos, it's a national presentation. That is the general one we do at Eco Hotel. So on behalf of the president, the executive committee of NAPE, I wish to present the plaque to Cornel for a good job, for a job well done. Cornel, we appreciate you. We continue to appreciate what you're doing and what you will continue to do for NAPE. We ask that anytime we call on you, you'll be there for us and there to do justice to what you know best. Thank you very much, and keep the flag flying. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Can we give Cornel a virtual clap if you are close to your computer? Yeah, thanks so
it's
much.
not virtual enough.
Thanks so much. So,
thank you, Doc.
Dr. Foma, you are supposed to take the good web message.
Thank you, Warri chapter. Thanks to all of you.
Yeah, Dr. Foma, I said still you are supposed to take the good messages, but we've been hearing so much messages from you since morning, so I can skip this.
The PE should take the goodwill message, please.
Okay.
Mr. Vice President, thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, so on behalf of the NAPE Board of Trustees and the Advisory Council, as well as the members of the Executive Committee of NAPE, just want to thank everyone for attending this rather enlightening and informative session today. I think, like the Vice President mentioned earlier, just kudos to the Warri chapter for continuing to blaze the trail in these kinds of sessions. I think this was well put together and well delivered by Cornel Animba, the services team lead for Landmark-Halliburton. I think the topic, the trends in exploration and production data management, is most timely considering the state of the industry today. I also want to thank Dr. Emmanuel Maduawa, the chairperson, for helping to guide us through the events today. Ebenezer Bamigboye, I always enjoy when he facilitates these sessions. He does it so seamlessly. Mrs. Ologun, the Deputy Coordinator of the Warri chapter, thanks for your safety moment on ergonomics. And my brother Wilson, also the chapter coordinator for Warri chapter, thanks for putting this together. I think NAPE is, as we continue to go through the 2022 year, I think we enlightened and also emboldened by the collaboration that all the chapters are going through with the body. Yesterday, like the VP mentioned, we all tuned into the national technical meeting, and today we are here at the one for Warri. I'm sure next week we have one for Benin, and month by month we see that these activities they continue to help us to tune ourselves to where the industry is going to today. And just want to thank all for this. And as we go into the Q4 of this year, into to the conference proper in October, November, I don't know if the chapter plans to speak around the activities that are planned between now and the end of the year, but I just want to encourage our chapters as well as the members of NAPE to join hands with the EXCO to make this a more successful conference. Once again, thank you so much for your attendance and all the very best.
Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate. So because of our time, I'll just go straight to the announcement. And please, as members of NAPE, we must remember that we have to pay our dues. And of course, it's very seamless now. Just go to NAPE website to pay. Pay is very simple. For student members, 2,000, active members, 12,000, associate members, 12,000, and corporate members, 50,000. So our NAPE conference for this year is the 40th Annual International Conference and Exhibition, and it will hold between the 13th and 17th of November 2022 at the Eco Hotel and Suites. We are here. And the theme is Global Energy Transition and the Future of Oil and Gas Industry, Evolving Regulations, Emerging Concepts and Opportunities. Please, for inquiry, try and reach out to our own Lawrence Oswago on his number or his email, and you can also reach out to the NAPE executive. So we have a call for abstract extension. As of July 31st, we had the abstract submission deadline. August 15, this more acceptance letter issuance. Then if you're presenting or writing a paper, please try to make sure that your full paper submission is sent to NAPE latest September 30th, 2022. And for inquiry, please, you can reach out to Dr. Christopher Jackson. Then, like the PE said, we'll be having interesting technical presentation every month. Just yesterday, we had one in the quarter. We have one that you are currently on. And next week, we'll be having one and brought to you by the NAPE Benin chapter. As the topic is addressing wellbore instability challenges in infill wells. It's to be presented by Mr. David Odofin, a senior geomechanical consultant with Halliburton. So please try and make it a date, register before then, and block your calendar. So yes, continuity is what we always seek for in life. NAPE has this culture of continuity. So it's election time, and we have a series of position for that you can buy for the post of president-elect. We have Mr. Abiodun Ogunjobi. Please just go to the NAPE site. You can read through what they bring to the table or what they want to bring to the fore to serve NAPE better. Then for General Secretary, we have Dr. Manuel Madwewe, and we have Mr. Ibrahim Dong. Please just go to the website, you'll see more details, and of course, you can take your decision. For the post of Publicity Secretary, we have Dr. Chioma Kafo and Mr. Austin Ngemiri. For Financial Secretary, we have Dr. Charles Otogeli. For Editor-in-Chief, we have Dr. Sofo Labo Adekule. For Treasurer, we have Mr. Diola James. For Assistant General Secretary, we have Dr. Mohamed Malla. And for Assistant Editor-in-Chief, we have Mrs. Sunday Amoyedo. Okay, so we should also try and go through NAPE news and get current information about NAPE so that we can be abreast of our activity and we'll know what NAPE stands for. So you can also follow NAPE on our social media links. NAPE is on Instagram, NAPE is on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. You can always follow NAPE, set it as a favorite in your phone anywhere so that you can get latest information about NAPE. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the executive that will be bringing you this technical presentation with the coordination of Mr. Wilson Awesome. Please take out time to contact any of them if you have more information. If you live around Delta State, live around Warri, and you want more information about NAPE Warri chapter, please reach out to any of these. So because of our time, we'll call on Mr. Elliot EBF NAPE once again to give us a vote of thanks. Thank you very much, sir. You've done so much for us today, but we will still keep calling you. Thank you, sir. Vote of thanks.
Thanks, Ebenezer. I think by exception, I just want to single out the sponsor of today's event for mention, Halliburton. I think, like the Vice President mentioned, they have done a yeoman's job this year by helping to sponsor a lot of these sessions at various chapter levels, and as well as facilitating the presenter for these sessions. So thank you so much, Halliburton, for this. Just going through, just want to also thank the NAPE members, friends of NAPE, our fellows, for taking time out to attend this event. Just a heads up on the conference proper. This is our 40th conference anniversary. We have tagged it our Ruby anniversary, and a number of activities are planned from October to celebrate these landmark event. And I'm sure in the next few days, we'll start to see the publicity for this conference and joining all that we collaborate to ensure its success. So once again, thank you so much for your attendance and all the very best.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of today's technical session, which is for the month of August. We appreciate your attendance. Those of us have started with us and are still on. I believe you got value for this time that you have stayed on. If you want more information, you can reach out to Dr. Foma. He's a very known person in NAPE. He works for Halliburton, so you can reach out to Mr. Wilson. He's awesome. And of course, you will get in touch with Mr. Cornel and Animba. So thank you very much, and we'll call it a good day and have a wonderful week ahead of you.
Thank you very much, Ebenezer.
Thank you, Ebenezer.
Thank you.
You've done a great
Thank
job.
you, Ebenezer. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ebenezer,
Bye-bye.
for the continuation.
Bye.
My Vice President,
Yes,
I
sir.
greet you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. My Chairman, I greet you, sir. Cornel, thank you very much. I appreciate the time.
You
Thanks a
guys
lot
have
for
done
this.
good.
My PE, I greet you. Well done, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.